What's going on, all you slappy slugs? My name is Mason.
And I'm Alex.
I'm Davis.
Davis, get your fucking energy up because it's ready for FU Fantasy!
Fantasy. I just hated the slapping slugs thing. Is all.
I am going to slap your slug. Whoa, that sounds kind of weird.
Oh, boy.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, they, thems, people of all ages, races, and sexual preferences.
Our inclusion ratings are going through the roof.
Oh yeah. We just bring them all in, you know.
Ready.
We are doing rankings today, ladies and gentlemen. And we have football to preview, and we have rants to go over.
We do.
Let's go.
Oh yeah, and it's a joyous day for Alex and I because our boys are playing today.
Yay.
Is it joyous?
Yeah, man. Go Panthers.
Yeah,
Rah, rah, rah.
Can we get the energy up in here, guys? It's really stressing me out a little bit.
How dare you? I'm ready to go. Yeah, for most people today it's probably like, oh God, Panthers, Bears, ugh.
You got to pull your team, man.
They would be right, although I will say it actually might be high scoring. So
I think it's going to be a good game. I
What is
just think
it?
it's going to be really low scoring.
You think it's going to be low scoring?
Yeah, I think the Panthers defense is actually playing very well, and I think that the Panthers offense is playing very poorly. So
Well, we'll see.
I think the only way it's high scoring is if we throw a couple pick sixes again.
Well, what's the over under? 37 and a half, 36 and a half, something like that?
38 and a half. So not as low.
Oh, it's gone up.
Not as low as I.
Ah.
Yeah, I think I got it at 36.
Yeah, I saw.
And
I think I heard
that's the
36 and something like that. Well, great. All right, let's lead off with some rants. What's getting your gooch? What's grinding your gears? What is tickling your taint? Davis Hester, take it away.
So many things that I won't bring up on the podcast, but I have a stat for you guys. I shared this with you offline a couple days ago.
All right. Well, he froze.
Yeah. What are you going to do? How does he always freeze?
Nope, there he is.
That's my rant. It's called Internet Sex.
I think we have to keep that in because that's just.
Let's keep it. I love it. Anyway, the remainder of that stat was times Atlanta Falcons have trusted Bijan Robinson on a carry inside the 5. Also
Uno.
one time.
One time.
Our boy
Cordell Patterson was given
taking-
one time.
Yeah. He's listen, there's like 8 Falcons that have taken more inside the 5 opportunities, including the backup to the backup tight end.
Oof.
Arthur Smith's taken some heat this week. More than it feel like normal, and I think frankly people are realizing that this is actual malpractice. That he's Catch Me If You Can, Leo DiCaprio, where he's the doctor. He's like, what's your opinion? Oh, what's your opinion? He's just like, throw players, this is Tecmo Bowl. Throw players out there. We're going to get them anyway. Doesn't matter. We spent a number 8 pick on Bijan Robinson.
Yeah. He's.
I don't even like the Falcons. Go Saints, but man, it hurts.
It's just like insane to see that kind of usage for someone who's taken so high, like you just said. He's an idiot. And he shaved his mustache on, so there's literally nothing interesting about him now.
Well, he's the son of a billionaire. I don't know if you guys knew
He's the
that.
son of a billionaire.
Yeah, there we go. We're back, baby.
Oh, yeah. Fuck that guy. Use your players right, you idiot. I hope you get fired.
Idiot. They're doing so well with we're playing the way he is right now.
Exactly.
Oh, man. All right, I'm going to go.
Yeah.
So, Robert Saleh says, sacks are a very overrated stat. Quinnen Williams has 0.5 sacks this season, but Saleh explains why that doesn't matter. Unfortunately, we live in a society where sack production is the measure of how good a player is, and it's not even close. I don't know if you guys watch Hard Knocks, but I watched Hard Knocks. When Quinnen Williams was running all over the place and I got 10 sacks, and he made that the standard. So if that doesn't say what a good player is, then why was that all that Quinnen Williams was talking about? That's all he seems to care about. So maybe that's all that we should care about when it comes to Quentin Williams, Robert Saleh. And maybe like you shouldn't be so excited about first preseason games and kicking people's asses and care more about, the sign of a good player.
It feels like Robert Saleh is a youth club soccer coach where they're getting beat 3-0 every game, and all the parents are coming up to him saying, "Why aren't you playing my kid? Why aren't you playing my kid?" And he's just like, "I don't know, man. Nobody's doing anything." I think that's what he's doing. He's just got to apologize for everybody, and he's got to figure out a way to keep his job.
He's apologizing for Quentin Williams way more than he apologizes for Zach Wilson. Why does Zach Wilson suck? He sucks.
He's pretty terrible.
Quentin Williams sucks. I don't know, man. He does a lot more than get sacks. I
think they pay Quentin Williams quite a bit more than they do Zach Wilson.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
All right, my rant is about one George Pickens. Stop being a baby. I'm tired of these young millennials, old Gen Z kids, children taking to social media with their problems. What? Grow the fuck up and be an adult. If you have a problem, don't air it out over the internet like a passive-aggressive little bitch. Take it to your quarterback. Take it to your coaches. Be like, how do I get the ball more? What am I doing wrong? Instead of unfollowing people on social media like a little fucking baby. You know who Mike Tomlin also had to deal with? Another wide receiver who was a little baby. And guess what? He's still here, and that wide receiver's gone. So stop being a bitch and fucking play your damn position and just do better. See what you can do to do better instead of whining about how you're not getting the ball. Grow up.
Yeah, but think about how good Chase Claypool's done since he left Steelers.
Yeah, that's who I was talking about.
Yeah. Mason, are you going to continue Pickensing a fight with George today, or you guys?
I'm going to pick a fight with you and kick you off this damn podcast if you keep that.
I've been trying to get you to for weeks, and you won't do it. You like me too much.
Oh God, somebody out there likes you. I don't even know if it's your wife anymore.
Listeners, if you know who that is, please send them to me. It's not even a dog, man.
Yeah, I'm just tired of especially wide receivers. Guys, grow up. They're always just such divas. He's just butthurt that Deontay Johnson's better than him. That's what's really going on here.
Or that Matt Canada just is a terrible play caller.
Anytime you can record 2 catches for -1 yards and then get mad about it, you have to do it. I can't blame him. Those opportunities just don't come around.
I mean, to be fair, Alex is not wrong. Matt Canada is hot garbaggio, but yeah, it's just weak. I think it's lame sauce.
I love Mike Tomlin. He's like, I got more to worry about than George Pickens.
That's literally what he said.
Like, stop asking about George Pickens.
I got bigger problems, man.
I heard someone on in the media being like, well, Mike Tomlin needs to get with the program. It's the 21st century. These social media. It's like, holy shit. Mike Tomlin has been doing this for a long time. He is literally the wide receiver whisperer. He's been getting plenty of production out of his wide receivers for a long time. I think he's got it covered.
Yeah.
Anyways. Yeah, he kept Brown under covers for how crazy he was for years and years and years until he left that organization, and then it exploded. So it sure as hell ain't a Mike Tomlin problem.
We don't talk about that bit enough. That as soon as he stopped wearing that black and gold, it just anyway,
crazy pants.
That's not why we're here today.
Yep. He's flashing his wiener at people and jacuzzis. He's taking his shirt off and quitting games in the middle of them. Holy cow, what a loser. Punching UPS drivers or whoever the hell it was, delivery guys.
Getting arrested for not paying child support or something like that.
Oh, God, he's
paying a lot of things, man. Can't wait for the 30 for 30 on him. It's going to be
God.
Must see.
Don't give him the limelight. Don't do it.
It's going to happen. You know it is.
Well, he is probably top 5, top 6 wide receiver of all time. So.
Oh man, yeah, probably top 3.
Yeah, he's crazy good, but he is a mental wacko.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the ranking, shall we?
Rankings.
All right, boys, I'm gonna hold us accountable here. We do this every week. We need to start posting them so that people can go look at our stuff. So let's make sure we do that in the next 2 days. We can talk about, we'll preview tonight if we can't get up these rankings tonight for people. So we'll talk about who we think needs to go out today for the Thursday night game. But let's post these so that people can see what we're dealing with here. We do all this work. Let's share it with the world. Okay, starting off, discrepancies. Let's start with wide receivers, shall we?
Wide receiver, shall we?
The first one I had was T. Higgins, but since I was looking at discrepancies, it has come out that T. Higgins is potentially injured and may not be playing. So we had a wide margin gap, but that we'll gloss over that one. Alex and I both have him at 9, and Davis had it at 40. I was like, "What in the world? Why are we doing this again,
Listen,
Davis?"
I was so wrong last week. I figured I'd run it back.
But we'll need to watch that. So it's probably somewhere in between. If he's not playing, then he's much closer to 40, i.e., not playing at all. So let's start with a smaller, a little less of a discrepancy. Nuke. I have him at 10, and you guys both have him at 17. I guess I need to defend myself first, huh?
No, I have him at 10.
Do you have him at 10?
Yeah. So I can defend myself for being low on him.
Okay, sure. So I wrote that down wrong. I wrote that you guys had the... All right, I'm an idiot. Davis, defend yourself.
I will. So DeAndre Hopkins has just had such an up and down year, guys, and he had a decent couple games now that Will Levis is on board. So, giving him credit for that is why I have him top 20.
Sure.
But listen, this is not really a great matchup for them.
Is it not?
It's a good receiver matchup.
Last week.
It's a good, yes, but is Will Levis CJ Stroud?
Yes, they're both rookies.
They're both, I mean, he could be. We don't know.
So it's because they're the same year in the league. They're the exact same player.
No, but 2 weeks ago, Will Levis did throw 3 touchdowns and over 400 yards. So
he sure did.
Desmond Ritter took this team apart.
Yeah.
I think Will Levis will be okay.
All right, so I just don't believe in DeAndre Hopkins. One time. Now I have him at 16. I'm at 15.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm saying don't play him.
No.
I'm just saying, is he a top 10 player? No.
I think he has the potential to because of how they got lit up, and Levis has only eyes for him. And when they played another team that was pretty bad, he lit them up, and he had 3 touchdowns and over 100 yards. So
on 4 catches. That's kind of where I get stuck. Is are we getting the catches?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. The targets are going to be there. The catches, maybe not. I just think the Tampa Bay is so freaking bad. 350 yards against, 350 yards against Jared Goff, 350 yards against Josh Allen. And Desmond Ritter took him downfield in 12 seconds to do a game-winning drive against them.
And to your point, I forgot to rank Will Levis at first, and I was like, "Oh wait, he's playing Tampa Bay. He's this viable streaming option."
Yeah.
And he's a rookie, so who knows? But we actually have seen him do it once of the 2 games he's played. So there's a world. And again, we're not crucifying you too much because we're 7.
Oh no, I'm offended.
Yeah, but you're right about that.
You do need to defend yourself on.
Wow.
Deontay Johnson. Alex and I both have him at 12. You have him at 29.
I don't know. Well, I'll give you a reason for that. One is I don't trust Kenny Pickett. So again, we're going back to the quarterbacks. 2,
sure,
that's a pretty not great matchup for them.
That's a decent argument.
There's a few things I'm baking into that. One is that I think there is some squeaky wheel with George Pickens. I think he's going to get a little more attention, whether that's for good or not. I don't know, but that would be to the detriment of Deontay. And then also, I love Deontay Johnson. I wanted to rank him higher, but man didn't score a touchdown for 2 years. That's a lazy fantasy analysis. But is he are we looking for him to be that high because he's going to start scoring touchdowns again, or because he's going to catch 10 balls for 100 yards?
10 balls for 100 yards is what I have. And he has scored a touchdown in the last 3 weeks. Since he's been back, he does have a tutty.
That's what I mean. But he's got the one in 3 years.
I do have literally written down about Pickens when I was doing notes and rankings that squeaky wheel question mark best case. But Deontay's past.
No, I'm way too low on him for sure.
Yeah,
I need to move him up past Christian Kirk, at least, who I have at 21.
Last 3 weeks
really matchups is what's scary.
In his return, he's wide receiver 6 on the year. So, or not on the year, and since he came back from injury, and that is pretty dang good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
he's wide receiver
on him for sure.
Just such a
PPR monster.
Oh my God, my freaking dog's barking. Shut up. Yeah, he just has so many targets. It's just the high floor guy. But yeah, I agree. The ceiling problem might not be there, but if he does start scoring touchdowns, he's a top 10 player rest of the season.
Now, I will say, I should have looked at this before, so I'll take the L on this one. But Jair Alexander back on the injury report. That was also kind of baked into my impression on Deontay. So
I saw that, but he's. I think they're saying he's okay. He and Watson both were. I saw when I was looking up Watson that he popped up. Yeah. I think what I read that. Just of course look, but if not, then that actually might be a better thing for Pickens than for
maybe.
Yeah, Deontay.
Kobe.
No.
Okay, let's move on. Another Davis, you and I are going to have to go because Alex is literally right in the middle. We're doing Calvin Ridley. I have him at 19. Alex has him at 29, and you have him at 39. Mm-hmm. I'm ready to hear your defense on this, but I'll go first.
Okay.
It's a matchup thing for me, and they're coming off a bye. The way to beat the 49ers is through the air, and you could say that maybe that's a Christian Kirk thing because he's been more consistent. But they've had a 2 weeks to prepare for this, and really is just such a talent. I can't. I have Kirk higher than him too. I have both of them as wide receiver 2s. I just think that if you're going to beat him, it's going to be through the air. So I think they air raid him a little bit.
Yeah, and that's a very good point. He did have 6 catches on 10 targets last week, which was his best game in a while. So
yeah,
my thought there is more that I think Trevor Lawrence is going to struggle. That San Francisco's very good overall in fantasy against the quarterback. They're probably going to be playing from behind, like you said. So you could definitely see him get his 10 targets and 6 catches. But it's just been so he's been so.
No, yeah, I get it.
I'm taking the gamble on the good defense rather than how you beat him, if that makes sense. How you beat the Niners.
Sure. Because I think he is like 39 on the year, which is like almost exactly where you ranked him.
He's 42 on ESPN.
Oh, he's 42 on the year. So yeah, he's a little hot and cold. I'm just wondering if they try and right the ship a little bit after the bye. There's so much talk about him out of camp, so much talk from analysts. Excuse me. I would be surprised if they don't try to get him the ball more, especially against a decent matchup for wide receivers. So
and I don't disagree with that. The problem with that logic is that Kansas City had 5.2 points on 8 targets, Houston 7 points on 7 targets. So it's even Indianapolis 6.6 points on 8 targets against a very bad defense. So it's not that he's not having the ball thrown his way; it's just that they're not connecting. It's kind of like the Olave problem, except Olave is somehow doing a little bit better given everything else. So
Alex is probably the closest on this ranking. But maybe we have a shot bet coming tomorrow that we could do.
Yeah, for me, when it goes like the 30s guys, those are the guys that are just like high upside for me. I mean, it's just like way I rank. So like, yeah, Jahan Dotson is right behind him for me. Same idea. It's that, yes, he could probably have 0 points, but he could also have 25 points. So I think, you got to go with talent. The way I do it, I got to go with talent when it comes to like that area, because that's my flex area, right? So,
Yeah, and I know you were high on him preseason too, Davis.
Yeah, definitely. I wanted to do well for sure. It's just, same as we've talked about the past few weeks. I just need to see it one more time, guys. I will tell you all up front that I did try to go a little bit more, put a little more effort into looking at matchups rather than just, because normally I'll try and look at everything, but I tried to give a little more credit to matchups.
Oh yeah, that's one of the biggest things I do these days. Yeah,
which is leaning me toward a little more all over the place. But Calvin Ridley, the talent's there, the team's there. It's a tough game to bank on it.
Yeah,
would you do a shot bet right now, Davis?
Sure.
29 push over 29.
Okay.
So yeah,
where do you have him? Remind me.
I have him 30 or 19. You have him 39. Alex and that's at 29. He's literally right in the middle.
Perfect. Okay, so Ridley 29 plus or minus.
Yeah.
And this is at 2049.
Oh, nice. Thanks, Davis.
I'm trying.
Say what?
Okay, got it.
You put down the time.
Trying to make sure I write down the timestamp.
Fantastic. Hell yeah. All right, let's move on. JSN. Davis, you're on it again, brother. I'll let Alex defend because we're both close. I have him 39, you have him at 38. Alex and Davis, 25.
You're all fools. Fools.
Yeah,
Alex,
you go ahead and go first.
Yeah. I kind of like this as a. First of all, I like it. He's still a third receiver. If the other two play, he's still number 3 on that team. At 38, he's still he's top 40 receiver, so he's still playable. But the ADOT's low, the touchdown equity is fairly low, and the team just didn't look right last week. I hope it's a Geno bounce back, but I do think this is a feed DK Metcalf game.
Okay.
I just don't. There's not a world for me where JSN explodes this game, except if he gets in the end zone, and I just don't. I don't see it.
He looked fantastic. That catch he had, little fade catch that he had last week was great. But I don't know. I'm with Alex there. I just need to see more, and I need one of those guys would really have to go down for him to be a viable starter, unless you're a little bit desperate and flex worthy. And I know, Davis, are you still starting him this week? Are you putting your money where your mouth is?
I do have to because Waddle's on by, and he's one of my 3 receivers. But yeah, I mean, Washington is the worst defense against fantasy receivers right now. So a lot of if we go through my rankings a little bit, I have DK at 10, I have Lockett at 18. Should I have JSN closer to 30? Sure, but I mean, I'm not gonna. I don't know, man. Devontae Adams right there, Cortland Sutton. So it's just the guy's getting a ton of targets. He has Pat's 5 games, 6, 5, 7, 4, 7. And he put up 6 catches for 63 yards against Baltimore, which is a very good defense.
Yeah. No,
in a game that we just talked about, Geno was terrible. The whole Seahawks team was terrible. So
they couldn't block anybody, so they had to get him the ball because he has his
quick
targets. So
low ADOT. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. He could. I mean, he really could. And it's kind of a gut call because I just think DK hasn't had his game yet. And I think it's just going to. I think he's going to explode this game.
I think it's just going to be.
Have to go against him.
a DK going off game can be 4 catches. It's the nuke game. It's 4 catches for 130 yards and 2 touchdowns, and that still leaves 32 throws or however many Geno's averaging for everybody else. This feels like a reversal. If they're terrible, then great. I'm wrong. What are you going to do? But it feels like a little bit more of a get right game for that offense.
Well, okay, so I'm looking at your team right now. So I'm putting you under the microscope here, Davis, and you have you have Olave and Chase looks like he's probably going to go.
Yeah.
And then so with your flex, you could go JSN, you could go Cook, James Cook, you could go Foreman, Shaheed, and Pickens. I think I like Cook and Pickens much better than I like JSN.
Well, we just had a conversation about Calvin Ridley, where he's put up double figures like once in the past 4 games. And JSN has now done it as a third receiver 3 straight games on a whole bunch of targets. So I'm partially riding the hot hand, but that is also why I picked up Shaheed, because I do think that game is going to be just an absolute shootout. It definitely feels like Rashid Shaheed, since we mentioned him, is going to have one of those big like 3 for 90 and a touchdown games.
Yeah. Your matchup's pretty good. You'll probably win it regardless. But just for maximizing, I guess if you're playing him as a floor, it sounds like to me.
Yeah.
James Cook just has an awesome matchup.
He has an awesome matchup, but I mean, again, at some point you gotta weigh and I know I may be contradicting myself, but you gotta weigh what's happened in the past few games compared to the matchup. Like, I have him as a top 15 play, James Cook, but man, he's had like 7 points and 4 points and 6 points. Like,
yeah, but the matchup,
they're not using him the way that it seems like they should.
Sure, the matchup is so juicy. They could get up real easy and start running the ball on that Denver defense, and they have played a little bit better. But I understand he has had decent, a few double-digit fantasy points. So you're bucking the trend here. So I'll be interested to see. I kind of want you to stick with it and see what happens. But
yeah, we'll see if I can scare you Sunday morning.
Logically, just touches James Cook would be in it. It would be an no-brainer for me. But
yeah, I'd go.
Well, you say that.
Oh, I know he's not been the most consistent.
He had 6 carries and 4 catches last week, 14 carries and 1 catch the week before, 13 and 3. For midnight, it's not great.
Getting 13, get around, I don't know, 12 to 15 touches versus
sure, when you're getting 7 points and 8 points out of it.
Yeah.
That's where I'm kind of stuck. If you were getting, 14 carries and 4 or 5 targets, great. But if we're talking 13 carries and 1 target, or 8 carries and 3 targets, it's just the math doesn't line up with how they use him.
No, I hear you. It's just the matchup is real juicy. I think if he's got a good right game, it's against.
Oh, I'm tempted. Don't you worry.
It's I mean, obviously, it's been a long time since Denver gashed them for all those yards, or Miami gashed them for all those yards. But I'm taking that upside of guaranteed touches and a sexy matchup, and not that the matchup against. Who is it again?
Commanders.
The Commanders. Yeah, because they've been in shootouts. So I hear you there too. All right, let's move on. I thought that was important because I think he is an interesting player because he has because it's a good point that he's had. What is it? 3 straight games of double digits.
And again, Washington is like far and away the worst defense against the receivers right now.
Yeah. Good for you, man. I like it. All right. Good defense. You've been under the microscope today.
I know. Let's keep going. I'm feeling frisky now. My nose is stuffy.
Oh, well, we're gonna do it again, brother.
I knew there were going to be some in here that we were going to have a fun time with.
This one, I actually think I understand your ranking more than anything. And Alex, again, sorry, you're not getting a lot of run here. You're just kind of in between Davis and I on all of this. Zay Flowers, you've got him at 44. Alex was at 34, and I have him at 25. So, again, it's like a 10 increment thing. Listen, I hear you. That defense that the Browns are trotting out are world class right now, and I think this is more of a trusting the talent for me over anything else. But 44 seems low. 44 seems low.
Mm-hmm.
Even last week with Dotson, he still got double-digit points though.
Zay Flowers?
55. Oh, I'm sorry. That was I was thinking. No,
I'm a little higher on Dotson, but Zay Flowers.
No. Sorry, I was thinking the wrong. I got my people confused.
You just got all excited.
I did. Yeah, no, he's been bad the past 2 weeks for sure against decent matches.
Nobody's throwing on Cleveland. They're, again, the worst defense to play against as receivers. Could he get wild and get a touchdown? Sure, but I also ranked Mark Andrews. We'll talk about these guys later. I have Mark Andrews 5th for this reason. Cleveland's playing at such a high level right now on defense.
Yeah, I think.
And frankly,
too high.
the Baltimore offense has just looked discombobulated. Are they going to put it together eventually? But is that going to be against Cleveland? My money says no.
Looks weird. I mean, that's like Lamar Jackson just doesn't really understand it yet, even though they're just super talented and they're just winning based on total talent. And their offensive line is phenomenal. So they're going to run the ball against most people.
Right.
Yeah, Cleveland might not be the team that they wanted.
Yeah, and what does Lamar Jackson do when he gets in trouble? He either runs it or he throws to Mark Andrews.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah, no, he actually, I'm looking at Zay Flowers. He is 35 on the year. I thought he was higher. I actually, you may have convinced me to drop him down a little bit. When I was doing this, I was like, "Ooh, I'm too high on him, probably just based off Cleveland alone."
Yeah.
But I thought his production was better, and I'm looking at it, and I will say his targets in the past few weeks have been pretty solid, except for last week. Going back to week 5, 11, 8, 6, 7, and 1 last week. They didn't need him, obviously, because it was just a beatdown. But
the rise of Odell.
Yeah, man. Odell complaining all the time. They're paying him $15 million to be the third receiver on the team.
Last week's an aberration for sure. I don't know, man. It feels like a 10-point game for Zay Flowers, if that. So I'd rather be lower on him than higher.
No, I think you're right. I think I'll drop him down. You convinced me.
Yeah, he was 3 for 56 last time they played.
All right. Another W in Davis's column. All right,
that's about 16 so far today. Let's keep it rolling.
No, I went on Deontay Johnson.
Yeah, that's way too low on Deontay.
All right, let's move on to running back, shall we?
Yeah.
We'll get Alex in the spotlight here.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I don't want to be in the spotlight.
Yeah, you do. You love it. You love it there.
Be in the spotlight.
All right, David Montgomery. I'm in the middle on him. You guys have the bigger discrepancies. You're playing David Montgomery, but it's kind of a like, what are we expecting, especially coming out off of his injury and a bye week? Davis has him at 10. I have him at 15, and Alex has him at 18. Alex Davis.
How am I the highest on Montgomery?
Yeah.
I think for me specifically, I'm nervous that Gibbs has just looked too good.
Yeah,
he's looked fantastic, and he might. I know what they want to do, but if I'm thinking, because Sam Campbell just will always love his like
bruiser backs.
Yeah, exactly. He'll always, but I don't know if you can take that many touches away from Gibbs the way he's playing right now, and. If I'm a guy that has broken ribs, which is right over my lungs, and I don't know if I can run the ball over and over and over again without coming off the field a little bit more. So I just think he's going to have less carries early on until he gets used to game speed. But like I said, you're playing, like you said, you're playing him. I just think it's gonna take a week or two to get back to his 20 touches that he had, but. I thought that last time he missed a game, and he came back and had 32 touches. So I don't know what in the world Dan Campbell's going to do, but the difference is that Jahmyr Gibbs looks excellent, and there's Kobe.
Hey,
Cobes.
Yeah, I was tied up on this one too because I think they really missed Montgomery. Like I know we talked about Craig Reynolds being a thing. That was not a thing, unfortunately. And he's been out for, we'll call it 4.5 weeks because he left that Tampa Bay game early, I believe.
Yes.
Dan Campbell's also come out and said in the past week, we don't want to give Jahmyr Gibbs this many touches.
Yeah, that's not even this week. He said it again.
Yeah, that's. I'll have to go find the exact date, but it's within the past week. Yeah. So I think if he is healthy, to your point, Alex, if he is healthy, he's going to come out and be the bell cow, or not bell cow necessarily, but the workhorse. Let's call it, because those are different things. But I mean, I also have Jahmyr Gibbs 16, I think. So I'm.
Oh yeah, we all have him high too.
Yeah, I'm high on him as well. It feels like they are looking for David Montgomery to come back, and I think this is a good game against the Chargers to just grind it out.
Yeah, just hard for me to rank. Yeah, he said that it's going to be I forgot. I also forgot what he said, but he said that Jahmyr Gibbs has earned touches. I just don't know. Dan Campbell, I got to see. I got to see it. That kind of thing. I have David Montgomery. I'm playing him. So.
And that's right. We can move on. I just thought it was. I think it's an interesting conversation. What's happening there? I thought it'd be interesting for the listeners. Thought process there. Bijan Robinson. This is a little. this is say again.
Real fast, do you guys have Rashad White over Montgomery? Because that's where
I don't, but they're within 2 spots of each other.
I do.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was caught up with. It's like that's because he's been excellent lately.
Yeah, I think I have Rashad White as a top 10 play.
Oh wow.
I have him.
I have him 10.
At 10.
Yeah.
Okay, well, yeah, you guys are higher than I am. I have him. Nice.
You've got him.
Listen to you guys.
Yeah.
Listen to you guys. Well, I have David Montgomery.
I got rid of him and I'm ranking him in the top 10. Great.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
This one's a little. We don't have to stay long on this one either, but it's interesting because we talked about it in the rants. Bijan Robinson, Davis has him at 23, Alex has him at 11, and I have him at 17. Alex, I'm going to make you defend yourself on this one because 11 is high, especially after we've all shit on Arthur Smith, and I know you've been frustrated too. So what gives?
Yeah, it's the Cardinals.
Yeah,
the Cardinals. They're bad. As much as he says he doesn't give a shit about like people asking about Bijan and fantasy community and all that kind of stuff, he's getting some heat about the way that he's not using Bijan.
If I was the owner of that organization, I'd be like,
yeah.
So you convinced me to take this guy,
yeah,
and pay him a lot of money, and his usage is what exactly?
Yeah, exactly. And you're 4 and 5. Can you explain this to me?
Exactly.
It's the matchup's amazing. I just think it's not Bijan being squeaky wheel. I think it's just that
media
everyone's being
squeaky
wheel.
It could be a get right game for sure.
It's more of a gut call because obviously he hasn't played that well. I'm going off talent and I'm going off of matchup more than anything. But if he doesn't do it against the Cardinals, he might just be on the bench for OU, which is
wild. Yeah. Which is not his fault either. It's like we've all seen the tape. We all see how electrifying he can be with the ball in his hands. It's just like
absolutely.
Arthur Smith's a giant wanker. So
that's why I've been saying, just don't own Falcons. Just don't own them, and then you don't have to worry about it.
Davis, I don't think we really need to defend that. I think Alex kind of covered it all.
Yeah, Alex hit it. I wanted to rank him higher. It was actually a conversation we had last week about like how can you the need to see it again thing where it's like how can we keep ranking Cooper Kupp in the top 10. Alex, you brought up this point. It's like why would we do it if he's only done 6 points a game since he's been back basically?
Yeah.
And I finally just bid on it with Bijan this week. I just can't.
Me too, man.
Bring myself to go more than top 20 unless the usage is there, and it's not that.
I hear you.
Yeah, right, well, if you own him, I think
you have to play him. You drafted him in the first round.
I feel bad for all the people that took him in the first round.
In that same vein, let's move on to the next guy. Alex, Davis, if you own him, you have to play Ken Walker, but you have him at 29.
Man, that is entirely a what in the wide world of sports is happening with Kenneth Walker. Because it's not been good the past few weeks, man. And I don't know. That's totally unknown. I'm not going to rank him, just like, it's Ken Walker, so I'm going to give him that benefit of the doubt because he had 17.9 points against Cincinnati, 13.1 on 26 carries against Arizona, and then he's had 8 carries and 9 carries and 1 reception each game, and things are weird. So is this a get right game and I'm going to eat my words? I hope so because I like him. I think he's great. But if you're going to come out and do 2.7 points in that dumpster fire of a game when they needed any offense they could get, I'm going to aim low this time and see what happens. Yeah,
if you have him on your team, this is what I do. When I start to get a wild hair about a player, for me, if he's on my team, I try and put it through that filter. It's like, what am I doing if he's actually on my team? And if I have Ken Walker, I'm playing him. And at 29, you're not playing him. And that is surprising to me. If you had him on your team, you wouldn't play him?
Man, it depends. I mean, it totally depends on what I have, obviously.
Sure, but you probably don't have much better than that.
Well, this past few weeks.
All right, let's do a name game then.
All right. Also, I should have mentioned this earlier. He didn't practice Wednesday due to a chest injury. So it just feels like there's something off on Ken.
Yeah, I wonder if that's it. I wonder if he's just playing hurt.
Maybe.
And why don't guys you have plenty of backs, man? Let him sit out the game. Jesus Christ.
19 hours ago, Seahawks Kenneth Walker tending to chest injury. So There you go. There's something.
Yeah, I mean, I will readily admit, I knew he was banged up just from the past couple weeks. I didn't know that was a thing from yesterday, so probably should have figured that out before I did rankings. But yeah, I mean, if you want to do a bet on that, I'll do it because I want him to get right. It's a much more fun world when Kenneth Walker is good, but it just like
it did say here that he had a week 9 calf injury.
Yeah,
here that makes more.
So
sense.
He has been banged up.
Yeah, that was
so that's interesting. I'm still 29 is still pretty wild to me, and he's got a decent matchup against after they got rid of 2 of their linemen. Let's do a name game. I'm going to do it with your own list.
Too. I actually have a 26, so I think we need to figure out if you can read your 6s and 9s, but still not great.
All right, fair enough. Well, that's right outside.
It's still flex.
A flex, yeah. But then, we're PPR. If you're flexing, you're generally flexing a wide receiver. Not that you won't, but
stay flexing, baby.
Stay flexing. You are playing. All right. Are you looking at your things? Don't look at your rankings.
Don't look at my rankings?
Don't look at your rankings. I'm using your own rankings against you.
Damn.
You ready?
Tight spot. Yep.
Najee Harris.
I'd play him over Kenneth Walker. I just looked at that in my rankings too, so I know where that one is. And I have Jalen Warren right next to him, so I do Jalen Warren too.
All right. Well, you just cheated if you just looked at it.
Mm-hmm. I looked at it before you told me not to.
Well, then this is just an arbitrary thing.
But I don't know where anybody else is, so go ahead.
Chuba Hubbard.
I'd play Chuba. I like Chuba this week.
I actually do too.
Yeah. I think I might actually have him down. Yeah, I do.
I think I have him
top. Talk about him in a second. Holy cow! I didn't see how low you had Tony Pollard.
Uh-huh.
Oof.
Yeah,
Javonte Williams.
Guts to do it.
Yeah, Javonte Williams.
I'd play Javonte.
Oh yeah.
Miles Sanders.
No. And I think I have him a little bit higher. I might have him right around the same range, but
no, they're right next to each other. The one you sent me, I'm looking at it, says 29, so I don't know. Anyways, all right. Well, that was a lame name game.
Yeah.
I mean, short story is, if I'm ranking them how I think they're going to finish, that's where I think he's going to finish. If I'm ranking them where I would, like, on a scale of 1 to play them, I'd rank him a little bit higher, because you kind of have to. But and same thing with Tony Pollard. I have him, oh God, where did I put him? So far down. I have him at 18 against the Giants.
You still do that this crazy shit, so they're kind of moved around. You are something else.
I fixed them.
No, they're still weirdly out of order. Anyways, yeah.
Yeah, Walker's at Montgomery. I have him and Montgomery back to back because it's just, I was like, I don't know. But I'm higher. I mean, I'm at 17. But I was, yeah.
All right, let's move on to Chuba Hubbard. He's the guy I have next on this list. Let me see if this is an actual ranking. Yeah, okay. So 19 is where you have Chuba Hubbard, actually, Davis. I have him at 30, and Alex has him at 23. So you really like it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I'm just nervous.
You can run on Chicago. It's a Thursday game.
That the touches got kind of split last week.
Yeah, I think
I'm a little nervous that it could be either one of them.
Yeah.
I think personally it's going to be Chuba, because he said that Frank Wright with his coach talk is so annoying, because he's like, we don't really have an identity, but it's going to be running the football. It's like, okay, well, that's your identity. So he wants to run the ball. I don't think that they want to run Miles Sanders a lot. I think they want to use him more as like kind of a third down kind of back, which is weird for Miles Sanders. I think it will be split though, but I think that Chuba gets more touches than
I have them both 30. I have them 30 and 32. Chuba over him.
Better. Chuba's good. He's a good running back.
And I'm going to push back on the touches thing. He had 16 carries and 4 catches, so he got his 20 touches last week against Indianapolis in a bad game for the Panthers too. So
Chuba,
Chicago's not great against the run. In fact, they're Carolina's number 2 against the run, or second worst. Chicago is 7th worst, according to what I'm looking at. So it just seems like a good matchup for all of them. I have Donta Foreman a little bit higher, I think, because of that as well.
He's gonna crush us.
Yeah,
revenge game.
Yep.
Do we know if Herbert is playing?
I don't believe so. I don't think he's been activated.
Yeah,
is he not?
Yeah, they could activate him right before the game, but I don't think he's been activated yet.
Okay, well then I need to move him up a lot for sure. This last
he's
one
not expected to play as of an hour ago.
Great! Wow, then absolutely smash start, especially revenge game.
We love a revenge game.
Yeah,
Vegas has him at 62.5 yards, which is bananas for Donta Foreman.
that's great.
And so they're daring you to take the under, so I think you should take the over.
Wow. Ford. We don't have to stay on this for a long. We've talked a lot about this game already. It's really just the matchup is going to be brutal against the Ravens.
Yeah.
Davis have him at 36. I understand it. I have him at 24. I think I should probably drop him a little bit. But Ford's been good.
He's been good. I think I'm too high on him.
No, yeah,
I wanted to go lower.
fantasy-wise. He hasn't been good as an actual player.
Oh, yeah. We ain't here talking about real football.
My father-in-law is a Browns fan, so I literally watched every snap of this Browns game, and he sucks. He's not very good, but they keep on throwing the ball to him, and they keep running him.
Yeah. So they keep trotting him out there, and he keeps producing fantasy numbers.
Yeah, so exactly. That's what I'm saying.
What we're doing.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and he gets catches. So
Davis, you think you're too high on him?
High on him. I just, man, that Ravens defense is serious.
Yeah.
Look what the conversation we just had about Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet. And now we're talking about Kareem Hunt and Pierre Strong and Jerome Ford. And I feel like
we've seen Ford bust out some runs on people before.
Sure. He can do it, but again, if I'm betting, this is where my numbers are lying for him.
Yeah, I think it's a nice catch floor is the only
he receives the balls through the air as well.
Yeah, that's I don't have confidence in him.
I'm not confident in it either. I think I have him too high, but I think 36. There's touches are there is the other thing. I guess is what I'm really saying.
Yeah,
he's gonna have opportunity.
20 carries against Arizona for 44 yards, 5 catches for 33. So yeah, I mean touches there, but then Seattle 9 carries, 1 catch. Had a touchdown against Indianapolis.
He's the end of my volume guy.
He needs a touchdown.
I have like my volume guys. Like I have Brian Robinson right above him.
Yeah.
So like he's like the end of my volume guys before I get
exactly for sure. All right, let's move on to tight ends.
And I actually have to go here in a second.
Okay, well
I had a hard stop at 3.
We're all right, hard stop.
Yeah.
All right, well let's talk about Taysom Hill real quick then. We're all pretty close. Alex has him at 12 outside of his top 10. Why do you not like him more?
Why do you hate him, Alex?
Why do you not like him as much as he's been doing recently?
I just think that Brian Flores isn't going to get caught. I think he has a team too well coached for gadget Taysom Hill plays. But I do think you can get over the top. I think I like Shaheed better than I like Taysom Hill. That doesn't mean I don't like Taysom Hill, but
he's going to top 12.
Yeah,
but in a Tim team, you're not playing him.
Yeah, I would. All the guys I have over him, I would start over him. Of course,
weird.
It's funny how.
I just don't think that they're going to get. I think he has this Minnesota defense too well coached to get gadgeted. So you actually have to straight up beat this defense, which you can, it's beatable, but it won't be gadgeted, if that makes sense.
I hear you. I mean, top 12 players are good. Before Davis has to run here, you have this player ranked really high, Alex. You have him ranked 15 for tight end. Can you tell me who the tight end Pira is? KYLW Pira? He's a backup player for Tennessee, I believe. I did this last night. I was looking at the matchups. No, I was looking at the matchups.
And oh wait, this isn't Kyle. I was thinking about that's Kyle Pitts. Sorry, Kyle Pitts. I was like, I'm just gonna try to bullshit this. Like I know who I'm talking about.
Oh my god, yeah, Kyle Pitts. Yeah,
I was like, looking up. I was like, who did I rank? Like, I was like, it's 6:15 in the morning.
Backup for Tennessee.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, is he bullshitting me or is he trying to be serious?
No, I was trying to bullshit. I was like, I have no idea who this is. I'm just like,
too good. It was just too good. I literally was looking. I was like, who the fuck is Pierre? Oh, it's Pitts.
Yeah, no, I was doing it too. I finished these rankings at 6:15 in the morning.
I knew exactly what it was.
And I was like, maybe I did go down this rabbit hole finding these backup tight end. And
Davis, real quick before you have to go, you have Njoku ranked 19. I'm ranked 11. I think this is the only way you can actually get points on the Ravens is with tight end. He actually had double digits against them last time they played.
I wanted to agree with you, but both of those teams are the worst teams against the tight end in fantasy so far this year.
Yeah,
or Cleveland. And Njoku has been good, so I may be about to eat some words here, but I feel like he's been streaky, and I don't like streaky against a really good defense.
Yeah,
I also have Taysom Hill at 7, so that should tell you how I feel about tight ends.
Yeah, well, same thing every week. And once you get past like 7, you're like, or 6.
Yeah. Njoku's been really good the past few weeks.
He's the number one pass catcher. Yeah, he's the number one pass catcher in that offense. And Deshaun Watson is a bad quarterback, and bad quarterbacks throw to the tight ends.
Yeah, I just think that game's going to be like 12-8.
Yeah. Davis, if you have to run, go for it. There's really only one discrepancy. Are you out of here, Davis?
Yeah, I'm out of here. I would just say that Taysom Hill's no longer a gadget. So, Alex, I hope you get stuck in your bed when you go back to sleep. I don't know. I ran out of juice. Anyway,
Taysom Hill is top 10 player the rest of the season, just not against Minnesota.
Your mom's
all right, Alex, you and I have a big discrepancy on Geno Smith. You have him 11th, and I have him 19th.
Oh, wow. I mean,
the matchup is not great, and he's been inconsistent.
No, it is great. It's against the Commanders. We're just talking about...
sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, the matchup is pretty good. I just need to see it, I guess. I don't know why I have this ranking.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think do we both have Tyler Lockett and Metcalf as top 20 plays?
Yeah, I'm wondering why I did this. I don't know why.
They're both top 20 plays, then the quarterback has to be good too.
Yeah, no, I think I lost my mind. I think I was looking at the wrong thing. Yeah. All right. Well, fuck me. I'm an idiot. I don't know where I missed on this. Oh man, I think I just read this wrong. Yeah. So Washington is terrible against the quarterback. So yeah, this is going to be a great matchup. So I'm way wrong, way off.
Yeah, I actually had him higher, and I scooted him back for. I think Trevor Lawrence has a good game off the bye, even though it's a bad matchup.
Wait, what?
I had Trevor Lawrence. I had Trevor Lawrence, C.J. Stroud, and Dobbs lower than Geno Smith, and I talked myself out of into all of those over.
Do you think T-Law has a good game against the Niners?
Yeah, off bye. I think Doug Peterson's a great coach. Granted, some of the
they're both coming off bye.
Yeah. I think that Peterson's just an offensive, not genius, but comes from the Andy Reid tree. Like he's going to have this team, and Andy Reid's like undefeated off bye last like 5, 10 since he's had Mahomes. Peterson's the same way. He's excellent off bye. I think he'll have this everything schemed really well, and I don't think it's going to be an ETN game, so it's going to have to be a Lawrence game. So I like Lawrence this week, even though the matchup isn't great. Yeah,
I have Lawrence 7. But
you're higher than me. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just looking at the guys past him. It's Sam Howell, Josh Dobbs, CJ Stroud. I just Trevor Lawrence pedigree and coming up by. And if I have both of his wide receivers high, that means I got to have him high too, like you were saying. You know, if I've got Lockett and DK high, then definitely got to have Geno high.
Yeah, they're at home. He had a good game against Buffalo. Buffalo had a good defense at the time, so they lost other guys. actually had Sam Howell ranked above Trevor Lawrence. So I'm not going to bet against Sam Howell.
I have him as a top 10 guy as well. So I don't.
They're going to have to keep up.
There. I have Sam Howell as 8. Yeah. But Gino, I don't know where I got that from. I must have been looking at the wrong week or something. Yeah, Gino, if I had to just doing a name game with myself, I guess I would probably play him over Brock Purdy. I have at 11, which is where you have Gino. But I could see that game being decent. Yeah, so probably around that 11-12 range.
Yeah, I'm right above Brock Purdy.
Yeah, that's probably. So I agree with you. I'm an idiot.
I had him at 8. I had Gino at 8, and I last minute I brought him down and put.
You sissied out.
Yeah, I put Lawrence, Dobbs and Stroud over him.
Yep. That's pretty much how I would have it too.
I am a little nervous about Stroud. Almost always when there's a big game like this, there is a not good game. And Bengals have a pretty solid pass defense.
That's why I
ranked him high just because after 470 yards, kind of have to. But
where do you have Will Levis? Talking about bad pass defenses, I feel like 18. I need to get him high.
I'm 18.
I have him at 16, 17. I think I need to get him over guys like Gardner Minshew, Russell Wilson.
Yeah, he's over.
I think I would move him up behind Love, who I have at 13. So I think I would play Will Levis over Derek Carr.
Yeah.
I mean, the opportunity, we've seen him do it once, and obviously we have a very, very small sample size here. But that secondary for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is atrocious.
Yeah. I just think that their identity is running the football, and they're going to try to run the football. I can't bet on a guy that's only played 2 games. I'd rather.
I think it's maybe a good DFS play more than anything.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And I think, speaking of DFS, I always talk about him. Kyle Phillips, I think, is a good DFS guy. But by the time this comes out, I dropped Kyle Phillips. I'm waiting for Fields and Chark to be officially ruled out, so I can put them in my IR spot, so I can pick up Kyle Phillips.
Yeah. So quarterback, it was crazy how I think you and I had the exact same starting quarterbacks, like to the T. Yeah. So we both had Josh Allen, Joe Burrow. Oh, you changed yours. Or maybe it was Davis and I that had the same.
Yeah, I can't change it. It's a PDF.
Yeah, it would have been Davis. You couldn't have. I'm an idiot. Again. Anyways, yeah, it was funny when I was looking at somebody's, I don't remember who it was. Anyways, we're all pretty close on these quarterbacks, so we're kind of just murmuring here.
Yeah, I'm nervous about Lamar. It's exactly what Davis said.
I have Lamar. You have him at 3. I bumped him down. I have him at 6, and honestly, I could get lower.
I agree with what Davis was saying, though. What happens when Lamar gets yeah, exactly. When he starts running, and he might have 60 yards of rushing that gives you that nice floor. So
this is going to be
wise.
I would real quick. Look up real quick for me what the over under for that game is. These NFC North battles are just always so low scoring, especially later in the year. I feel like they not even later in the year, they're just always defensive games. I feel like they just bash against each other, and it's always
you're absolutely right. Like it yeah. And
did you look it up?
Yeah, I'm looking it up right now. Yeah, it's. Jesus, sorry, my internet is slow because I'm doing this.
No, it's fine. Yeah, I just betting over unders on NFC North battles. I feel like the under.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't touch it as far as Baltimore's favored by 6.5, and the over under is not showing me right now.
Riveting.
They literally just have it locked on DraftKings.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I bet it's definitely under 40, and I would not be surprised if it was around like 36.
Yeah, but man, they're by 6.5. That's huge for. I'm probably gonna take the points there. I looked at FanDuel. It's 38. I just looked at FanDuel.
38.
Yeah,
I feel like that's high.
I'm taking the points over Cleveland.
That's like
even though they beat them
18 to 20, but like for don't make me do the math, but that means they have the Ravens scoring over 20 points.
Yeah.
Wow.
They scored last time it was 20-3. Last time they played.
Yeah, that was out without Watson, right? Or no?
That was with PJ. I think I'm pretty sure PJ.
Yeah. I mean, Watson played pretty well last week, or better last week, I should say. I don't know about pretty well.
Yeah, he didn't throw it off somebody's helmet. Or wait, did he?
He did. But I saw some of his throws. I watched some of the highlights back. He looked okay.
Yeah, he was comfortable because he was comfortable.
Easier game, obviously. The Cardinals.
Yeah.
But you never know. That confidence boils over sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, guys get open. You scheme something the right way. Forward breaks one long. Anything can happen.
Yeah. 38. That is way too high for me. These games, I feel like in the NFC North are like 13 to 10.
Yeah. I'm not touching. I probably won't touch the game money line, or I gotta get. I'll take the points though. 6.5.
That's crazy.
I think they could pull it out again. I don't know. Yeah.
They could. That Ravens defense, or that Ravens team, just in general, is. I feel like just because the offense is much better than the Cleveland defense or offense, then it could get out of hand. So
yeah.
Alrighty. Well, I think that's all we got.
Right.
You got anything you want to add? Oh, let's preview. Let's preview our boys real quick. Right quick.
Oh my god. Yeah, I think it is a ugly, gross game. I think there actually isn't very many turnovers. I think the Panthers probably get one. Because Bijan just turned the ball over like 9 times against the Saints. So I think the Panthers get a turnover where the Bears are in scoring position, and that changes the game. And Panthers win 13-9.
13-9?
I think it's be very low scoring.
Oh wow, you're smashing that under.
Yeah, I think it's gonna like we were talking about with Chuba. I think you're gonna see a lot of Chuba and a lot of Miles Sanders. I don't think that they want to. He said they want to run the football, and I think they're just going to run the football. And I think they don't want to get Bryce to be put in situations where he's going to turn the ball over.
Yeah, I have DJ at 30. You have him at. Let me see if I can find it. You have him at 18.
Yeah, revenge game. I think it's targeted like crazy. I think he gets like 13 targets.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah. I don't think he does anything with him. I think he's probably going to get 7 catches. Yeah, 7 catches for 70 yards, maybe.
Yeah. Well, let's hope not. Would not like. They also do know him too, so.
Right. Yeah. I just think they're going to try to get Foreman and more of the ball because players care about that kind of stuff.
Yep.
But
Foreman, I think. Whew, yikes. He didn't catch the ball really, but he could definitely have. I think that's a strong 15 points coming out of him. I think he runs for a ton of yards. I think we keep him out of the end zone though. Maybe. Anybody else that you? So Foreman, DJ. I think those are decent starts. Yeah, I didn't even think about the revenge game. Gosh. Anybody else on Komet? You playing Komet?
Yeah, I'm playing Komet.
I've got him as a top 10. I think.
I got him 11. I think.
The Bears are bad against tight end. Any world where
I just don't know who it is.
Yeah.
Now they activated Jordan Matthews. They like that Sullivan role. I don't know if you Stephen Sullivan was a former wide receiver that converted to tight end, and they started using him quite a bit, but he got hurt, so they elevated Jordan Matthews, the ghost of Jordan Matthews, up. So I think you're going to look at 3 tight ends basically coming in, and I just can't pick one until I
sure
go to one like
think they would use the one that they paid a lot of money.
You would think so, but I don't know. They also paid a lot of money to Miles Sanders and don't use him, so I don't know.
We're doing great.
Yeah. It's nice to be a Panthers fan right now. Let me tell you.
Oh God.
We have I think we have 8 starters out on defense. I think the only ones that are left from our original starters are Luvu, Derek Brown, and Dante Jackson. But Von Bell could come back this week, so we might have Von Bell.
That's terrible.
No, it's not good. But Evero still hasn't playing pretty well, so we only allowed less than 200 yards total offense last week against the Colts. So
good Lord,
and we still got
that hurts.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously you're starting Thielen. Thielen hopefully has another big game. I just traded him away after acquiring him. Unfortunately, I didn't get to use him the one week that he did go off that I owned him because of our stupid trading rules. But then he had like 6.9 last week and 15. So I got like one halfway decent game before I gave him away. Let's talk about this right before we go. I made a trade for Deontay Johnson and Josh Allen, and I gave up Herbert and Thielen. What are your thoughts on that? We've talked about it a little bit off air, but talk about it for the people.
Yeah, I mean, I just really like Deontay Johnson the rest of the year. I like Herbert rest of the year too. So it's Josh Allen, you're missing a game, so he gets a bye week.
Yeah,
people would probably automatically be like, Josh Allen's the number 1 fantasy scoring whatever. Yeah. But you get him in a bye week, so you only get him for
5 more.
Yeah, something like that. I think personally that Adam Thielen's going to start taking a step back because we're not going to be any good. Yeah. So they're going to start getting Jonathan Mingo run out of the slot where Adam Thielen's been mostly running out of. Which is going to push Adam Thielen on the outside, and I don't think he's going to be as successful on the outside. So I think it's good to get off Thielen early. I just don't know when that's going to be. So he could have a monster game today. He could have a monster game next week too. I just think by the fantasy playoffs, probably not. So
that was my thinking exactly. That like the Allen and Herbert thing is a little bit of a push moving forward. Allen's got a harder schedule and he's got a bye week. He also gets Herbert as a keeper, but I get Deontay as a keeper. So those kind of cancel out. Those are 2 of my guys from the beginning of the year, my good boys, as I called them. It was sad to see him go, but I think Deontay is ascending, and I think Thielen is going to start waning. It's happened the past 2 years. I know he's on a different offense and he's getting a lot more targets. But last week he had 6.9. I think he's going to do better than that this week against a bad defense. But I would rather, I maybe could have sold him. I don't know. I think that's pretty good sell high for Thielen, but we'll see. DJ's been, like we talked about, top 6 wide receiver since he's come back, and I want that production.
Yeah, I have the only touchdown. I bet it already. Adam Thielen anytime touchdown.
Did you?
Touchdown?
Yeah.
This week.
Listen, I'm a Panthers fan. I hope he still does well. It was sad to see him go for sure, especially because I didn't get a ton of production out of him when I had him. But I think by the end of the year, he's not going to be nearly as productive as he was at the beginning because that's just how it's been the past 2 years. So
and by no fault of his own, I think that it's going to be they just want to give Mingo more touches.
Yep. Yeah. And I picked up Mingo in a league too because I felt that way.
I did too. Yeah.
So we'll see. I hope it works out for everyone. Yay! I thought it was a pretty even trade though. But the upside of youth and targets for Deontay moving forward is just delicious. And I think Thielen just a little older. So we'll see.
Yeah, Josh Allen also gets a gauntlet of defenses. So
he does. But sometimes, like you were saying when we talked about it earlier, that makes him rush more.
Yeah, exactly. So, no, he's played awful a lot of times and
still done well great production. Yeah, I mean they lost last week and he still did pretty well. So he has. I think he has 5 or 6 rushing touchdowns this year already, which is wild.
Yeah, I have him. Oh, I need to go back and look at that because I have him most rushing touchdowns this year, but I think Jalen Hurts is going to run away with it, but maybe not.
Quarterback or just total?
Quarterback, yeah, up quarterbacks. Sorry, up quarterbacks.
Yeah, he's at 6 or 7, so check it out.
I think Hurts has like 10 or something like that.
Yeah, the
Tush push all day.
Tush push. I've refused to call it the brotherly. I'm not even going to finish it because fuck Philadelphia. And there's all the Philadelphia fans. Bye, y'all.
All right. Mason, do you want to take it away?
Let's do it, baby. As we say at the end of every episode.
You.
Fantasy
Football podcast.
Bye now.